Fast.
Okay, so later than we try to do it, which I think I said that last week too.
Yes.
I think we get a little later each week. So maybe next week we'll do it right before the episode. Who knows? But this was the 7th episode of the season. So in honor of Jelinski, they titled the episode Several, which I love that they did that. I thought that was really funny. And my brain forgot how to work for a second there. So, what happened in the previous episode was the Murgatory, when everyone was together on one beach, but you're not technically merged yet, and they voted off Moriah, and now that she is gone, they are officially merged. And what happens when they get back from the beach? Do you remember what happened, Mom?
Not quite. I guess they were discussing who's going to be the one that's going to be voted out.
Like, the thing I specifically remember is, like, right when they got back from Tribal, was Venus was trying to figure out who voted for her.
Oh,
and
yes.
Do you remember who she accused of voting for
Soda.
her? Yes, like, she was like, hey, I know you've been throwing me under the bus. Yeah. You must have voted for me. And she's like, you're crazy. I know we're not like that anymore, but I wouldn't vote for you this early. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And do you remember who it was that actually voted for Venus?
Was it Charlie?
It was Charlie.
Yeah.
It was Charlie, and then Charlie tells Venus, like, look, I don't want to have any unnecessary fighting going on. I did it. Maybe I didn't super know what we were doing. I apologize. And then Q goes up to Charlie and is like, hey, the Nami tribe is fighting. If you want to play good survivor, you don't get in the way of that. Come on, dude. What are you doing?
Yeah.
So he...
Yeah.
Remember, he was trying to coach Charlie like the way he was coaching Banu.
Yes.
And while Banu was like, oh, thank you for taking me under your wing. Thank you for teaching me, Charlie's like, why are you doing this to me?
Yeah.
Like, I'm here playing Survivor. Yeah, he's like, I'm playing Survivor here too, dude. Like, you don't have to tell me how to play Survivor.
Yes,
and I appreciated that. It's like, all right, there's some sparks going on between Charlie and Q. Venus and Soda are having a fight right now.
But even Q and the two other...
Yes, like, well, we'll put a pin in that because it was something that happened later. But
was it? Okay.
That was when they were trying to figure out who to vote for on their tribe. But the floor will be yours when we get to that, Mom, because that was fun to watch.
Yeah.
But after that, I think is when we get to the challenge. So what they've been doing in the new era is after your first Murgatory vote, the tribe divides in half. This half does a challenge. This half does the same challenge. Both sides go to tribal council. One person immune on each side. And I will be honest, I usually don't like it. The reason I personally don't like it is just if we're not really merged, then are we? You know, why are we saying like you're officially merged, but you're dividing you're divided? Like I don't like it.
Yeah.
I think I had said this in an earlier episode. I would just prefer to just have a tribe swap where you go from 3 tribes to 2 tribes for a couple rounds and then do this. However, this was a blast. I actually absolutely loved the tribes we got. I loved all the dynamics we got. Do you remember what happened in the challenge, Mom? The balancing challenge?
I kind of. I mean, they started off playing a game.
Mm-hmm. It was the alphabet game.
You started the alphabet game, and it was a bit of a mess. You know?
It was so funny. I was cracking up.
Yep, and so you can go on about the alphabet.
So it was the alphabet game. It's like, all right, one person says one thing, as I think they were talking about locations as the theme. So A, Alabama, and the next person does B, and you're supposed to say A is Alabama, B is Baltimore. It's like B, Baltimore. No, you're supposed to say A, Alabama, then B, Baltimore. All right, someone else go.
C.
Brunswick. It's like, no, you were supposed to say A, Alabama first. And then Charlie, who had to troll Q at that point, is like, no, I got this. Baltimore. The timing was perfect. Yeah. I don't know how much of that was just like perfect editing or if like his comedic timing was that on point.
Yeah.
That was great. there was a point in the challenge where after they'd been up there 7 minutes, Jeff says, "In honor of Jelinski, you've been up there several minutes." That got another laugh out of me. And then there's Tim at one point saying, like, "Hey, Jeff, what's up?" "Oh, what's up, Tim? You know, I appreciate you talking to me." And Q from the bench is saying, "Jeff, that's how black people have good time."
How many minutes have gone by?
And then later, Tim again is like, "Hey, Jeff, what's up?" And Jeff immediately, 25 minutes. It was just gold. I absolutely loved this challenge.
Yeah, it was.
But it was, actually, I wrote down how everyone was divided. Here we go. So, the Orange Tribe, who lost first, so they went to Tribal first, was Tiff, Q, and Kenzie, so it was the Yanu trio. Tim, Ben, and Hunter, with Kenzie being the one to win immunity.
Yes,
and
Maria.
And it was the Orange Tribe, you're right, Maria was the one who won from there, and it was her, Charlie, Tevin, Venus, Liz, and Soda.
Yeah.
So, because the Yanu Tribe lost first, whoever gets voted out there does not make the jury. Everyone from that point onwards will either be on the jury or in the final tribal council. So, do you want to go ahead and talk about what happened on their beach? Because that's what you were talking about with the girls and Q, and take the pin out.
Well, Q is starting to feel like he owns the Survivor. Mm-hmm. He's going to tell everybody who to vote for, what to think, what to say, what not to say, and the girls are like, he's team. What are their names
Kenzie
again?
and Tiff.
Kenzie and Tiff are like, why does he think we have to listen to what he says? He doesn't have to tell us who to vote for, you know? But they're kind of saying it. They're not yet angry. Mm-hmm. I noticed that. They were not angry at what he said. They were just testing. I think they were testing each other to see how you feel about...
I think so, too.
Yeah. That's what they were doing. But then I guess eventually they decided they were going to... Who were they going to vote for?
So, originally what they were going to do is they were going to vote out Ben.
Yes.
Because they've got that alliance of 6, which is Q and Tiff is super close to Kenzie, and Kenzie was immune, so she wasn't going anywhere. Hunter and Tevin, who was on the other beach, and Tim and Maria, who was also on the other beach.
Yes.
So, for them, Ben was just the odd man out. Do you remember why they were thinking about Hunter?
Hunter, because he's so strong, and he'd win, and he's good at a lot of the challenges, and they thought, let's get him out, you know.
And do you remember who it was that was saying that specifically?
What's her name? What's her name, Venus?
No, Venus was on the other beach. This one was Tim.
Oh, was it? Oh,
it was Tim, because Tim is the one that
didn't want his friend to
be exactly, because he's the one who, even from last week, we saw was very flaky about this new alliance. The 6 thing is kind of nice, but I also have my Sega tribe that I really like.
He's not
I'm really
into
close
He wasn't into
He really wasn't.
Yeah.
And he was saying, he's like, look, I think we should get rid of Hunter. Hunter's this, like you were saying, he's going to win everything. You guys very strong, he's very smart, he's very likable. If we have a chance to get rid of him now, we'd be fools not to take it. Yeah. And Q's saying, but we have a 6, at which you're part of. Do you not understand how this alliance works? Yes. I don't think you're part of it. If I can't trust you, I think I should cut you now.
Yeah.
And from that point, it was kind of very back and forth between, do we want to cut Tim? Do we want to cut Ben? And I remember it was Kenzie was really pushing to keep Ben. Because
he had that dream.
Yes.
And he had an anxiety attack, and she woke up. And I guess her family suffers from anxiety. And she just felt this closeness toward him. She wanted to keep him a little bit longer. Yeah. So they decided on Tim. And Hunter was also saying, he's like, I have an idol. I can play it if I need to. I just hope I really don't have to. And then when they got to Tribal, he didn't play it. Yeah,
Tim was the one that went home.
I really was nervous. I was thinking, come on, play that idol. Don't be dumb. But I guess there's more, behind the scenes stuff that made him really comfortable.
I think so.
You could see he was a little nervous, but he was more comfortable than nervous.
I think so. And
Yeah.
Tim was blindsided. He thought...
Oh, boy, was he blindsided.
I felt so bad. Because what I've noticed is a lot of the earlier episodes of the season, we've barely seen him.
Yeah,
In these last few episodes where Tim's gotten content, he's great. I love this dude. Like, him just talking to the immunity idol thing, I was like, hey, man... What's going on? Like him talking to Jeff, there's a part of the challenge where he just is giving shout outs. He's like, shout out my mom, my kid, shout out to Charlie's mom, shout out to like Q's dad and everything. I was like, I loved that. Like this guy is great. I'm just so sad I didn't get that much content from him. And then when he started to get content, it's because he got voted out. I was like, I really wish he at least made the jury. I'm gonna miss Tim. I really will.
True. That is true.
I think that was kind of it for that side. So then I think we can talk about the other side.
Yeah.
And that was with Venus and Soda and Charlie and all them. You want to get into that?
Well, when I remember Venus, you know, she cornered Soda and said, you were the one that wrote my name down. And Soda was like, no, I didn't. And Venus was like, yeah, I know you were the one that wrote my name down. And Soda was a little bit upset. You know, I could tell she was saying like this girl's a bit nuts. But anyway, from there you take it because
So, from what I remember, it was 4 Nami and 2 Siga, and Maria is immune. So Charlie is the only Siga on that beach that's vulnerable. So everyone even says, "Oh, clearly this is the easy vote. Let's just get rid of him." But no one actually wanted to do it. Charlie doesn't want Charlie to go. Maria doesn't want Charlie to go. And everyone in Nami has problems with someone else in Nami.
Yes.
So it's so interesting when you get into those situations where, like, here's the easy target and no one wants to vote them out. It's one of the things I love about Survivor. It's that human element of, this is what I should do, but I don't like you. So I have to get rid of you. Yeah. So it's kind of like what you were saying. Venus was going after Soda. She wants Soda gone. Soda's getting targeted by Venus. She wants Venus gone. Yeah. Tevin's like, I've been wanting Venus gone since day 1. But...
Soda's a threat. You know, she talks to everybody. She's trying to make an alliance with everybody. You know, and so what was he saying that he said?
He was saying, he was talking about, okay, so it was a few episodes ago, and he was like, Soda's got the Goda.
Yeah.
And he was talking about Jam Jam, who was a winner a few seasons ago. He was like, you know, so what would Jam Jam say? She just duck.
Yeah.
I got a good laugh out of that. I'm going to be honest, the more I see of Tevin, the more I just feel like he's going to win the season.
He is sharp.
He's very sharp.
But in the background, he tries to be in the background. He communicates well with everybody, but he's not out there saying, you don't do that, you don't. He just gives a little bit of food there. You take that, and it spreads around. Because he didn't vote for Soda.
He didn't. He voted for Venus. And I'm not 100% why. I feel like it might have...
because she's going to be in the jury. He doesn't want...
Well, here's the thing, though, because he was even saying, I want to be the one who gets credit for this. And then at the end of the episode, when Soda got voted out, and she's like, Venus, you did this? And Venus like, yeah, I did it, because Venus thought she did it. Tevin's saying, like, no,
he was saying no.
So I feel like it's not because he wants Soda's jury vote, because he would have to own it and say, no, like, I got rid of you, please vote for me for playing a good game. I think it was probably like, in case she plays a shot in the dark and it's successful, I want to make sure there's an extra vote on Venus, so like no problems. Yes. I feel like that's probably
okay.
But I feel like Tevin is probably my pick to win. And one thing I just kind of have a vibe right now on is his relationship with Hunter. They are very close.
Yes,
like you see it a lot. It's like when you look at Nami, it was Soda thinks she's part of that trio, but it's really a duo. Venus is over here, and Liz is just chilling. Like, people just sort of like, she's in like no alliances with anyone, but no one targets her.
And she's just comfortable.
She's just so comfortable. Like, she's such a vibe. Like, I love this. But I feel like Hunter will get to a point where he says to himself, I should probably get rid of Tevin, because Tevin is a big threat. And I mean this with no disrespect to Hunter, but I feel like by the time Hunter kind of thinks about that, Tevin will have already, like, cut him. Because Tevin seems like the kind of guy who is just like, and I mean this in the best possible way, he's like, you're a problem, I have to get rid of you. He's like, I'm close to Soda, but I can see the threat potential.
Yes.
I think there's going to be a point where he says, Hunter did not win immunity, and I can get to the end without him.
Yeah,
I need to get rid of him now. Like, I think he will be the one to cut that relationship first.
Yeah.
And then what we were talking about earlier with Yanu, where it does seem like they are a trio, but we've seen from the very beginning that it's Tiff is the one that keeps them together because Q and Kenzie don't trust each other.
No.
And like you were saying, not Q, but Tiff and Kenzie were kind of throwing it out. It's like, hey, like, he's our guy, but would you be interested in, I mean, not now, but maybe, that's kind of the vibe I got with them too.
It was, And I mean, I loved Soda. She was so blindsided. Oh my gosh, she could not believe it. She looked and looked, and I guess she thought Venus was the one that got her out.
And what I find so interesting about that is Venus takes credit for it because she genuinely thought she did it. Because she was going up to people saying like, hey, Charlie, maybe we should get rid of this. Hey, Maria, do you want to work with me? And Maria's like, I don't want to. No offense, but I just don't like you. It's the way she says, like, I don't like being told what to do, but it kind of comes across as, I don't like you. Nobody likes you, but Tevin was it's like everyone she was talking to about the plan, Tevin had already laid the groundwork for it. So she's like, cool, I did this. This was great. I thought that was really funny. And the part when Tevin and Liz are on the beach, he's like, hey, Liz, so Charlie, right? Makes sense. But Venus, right? Makes sense. But Soda, and then Liz just smiled. It was just like, yeah.
And then
now
Soda
you're speaking my
like,
language.
Get her out.
It was. I thought this was a great episode. Like I said, like if we're merged, I want to see us all on the same beach. So like, I can't even be mad. Like, I really liked these tribes that we had and their dynamics. It was fantastic.
Yeah, it was good. It was a real good episode. Yeah, Soda's got to go now. Poor Soda got to go now. She's gone.
She goaded right to the jury.
She did.
But she at least made it to the jury.
She did, yeah. I'm glad she did. Because, I mean, she played a good part in, the episodes, keeping her tribe together. And, Yep, so next week.
Yep. Anything else you have to say about the episode or about the season?
No, except it's getting better and better. The season's getting better and better.
I think this was probably the best episode of the season. It was a really good episode.
It was really good.
And we don't have to wait a week. It's just tomorrow. But we'll watch the next episode tomorrow. And
can't wait.
Probably make a video on it the next Wednesday.
Can't wait. Excited.